Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Ray Chirama, with my assistant, Prim. Say hi, Prim.
Hi.
We're going to be breaking down Apex Legends Season 1 and 2. This is Part 1, so stay tuned for the next part. Part 2 will consist of Season 3 and 4, so make sure to keep watch for that. I say we begin by introducing our legends. Well, introducing Wraith, an emo girl who became depressed just because it was popular. Gibraltar, a fat Dwayne The Rock Johnson they call Gibby. Yeah, he's pretty fat. Bloodhound, a hunter, and honestly, I don't know if they're a boy or a girl. Bangalore, a feisty black woman ready to kill anything in her path. Seriously, guys, she's pretty scary. Lifeline, a nice black woman with less sass and more crap, never mind. Pathfinder, a robot that's nice than most people I meet. Nicer,
You
I
don't
bet.
meet any people.
Uh, shut up. You know what? Let's just continue. Caustic, a psychopath that likes to use gas from his God,
What
why?
is it with you trying to rhyme?
Sorry, I don't know. I'm just feeling it today. I will stop, okay? Mirage, a legend who uses comedic gestures to stop him from remembering his depressing past. And Octane, a new legend trying to fit in. He's speedy and uses the drug speed to be speed. Well, that's a brief introduction of our legends. We'll go more into depth over them later. Anything to start this discussion off, Brim?
The centerpiece of this update and a subject of much contention in the Apex community, the Battle Pass is finally here.
Yeah, the Battle Pass was... I remember that being a pretty big thing to a lot of players, because, you know, they hadn't really... They'd seen it before in other games, but honestly, to bring it to life in Apex was kind of nice. I will say that the Battle Pass was not my... The Season 1 Battle Pass was not my favorite. It didn't have as much glamour as I'd liked it to have. Like, the skins were kind of just... eh, you
It
know,
was,
but looking
it was
back on
kind of
it,
just eh.
yeah, but they're OG now. They're still good skins, but they're not as good as I really thought that they
They're not
would
as good
be.
as future Battle Pass skins would be.
But you know, it was still a great thing to have. I thought that the Battle Pass was good, especially with the way they advertised it. I do remember, you know, at the time we were playing Fortnite, that was kind of our main game, and we saw Apex. And it was really a breath of fresh air. I think for a lot of people, I think the main people that it was a breath of fresh air for was the streamers, like the streaming community, because a lot of
Oh
streamers
yeah, a
had
lot of
gone,
them went to Apex for a
yeah,
short
and
period of time.
a lot of like Fortnite players were scared. They were honestly saying, "Oh, is this how Fortnite ends? Is this how, like, is Apex about to be the biggest game?" You know, and that happens for a lot of new release games. Like, that happened for Warzone. They had a
Oh yeah.
huge base community just in the first day that it was released, but Apex had that too. Fortnite had that too. You know, it just kind of... I think a lot of people just take that out of proportion, you know, and it's still a great game, but I think people were a bit too optimistic about if it would take down Fortnite, you know. I wish it did,
Yeah.
but we're still here. We don't play Fortnite anymore, but it's still here and it's still terrible. All right, the first thing. Oh my God, my
Nice
bad.
voice crack there, mister.
Thank you very much. The first
We don't know
thing.
Bloodhound's gender, but we don't know your gender either. Oh,
What?
wait.
I'm about to smack you through the mic. You don't even know. All right. Anyways, the L-Star came to Season 1, and honestly, this thing, just a beast. Absolute beast, okay? I mean, it was crazy. It had some of the highest damage ever, but you have to take into, you know, like, you gotta really think about it. I mean, it took
Yeah.
a long time to reload. It was relatively slow handling, and the reload speed was really slow, and so it made it one of those weapons where you can go out and take someone down, but you have to be strategic about it, because once you run out of
Yeah, if you're
ammo,
good with the Yellow
you're kind of
Star,
screwed.
it's good. But
Yeah,
that's the thing.
yeah, but
You
once you run
kind
out
of
of
need to be
ammo,
good with it.
yeah, it just kind of it comes back at you and slaps you in the face. And then they made some hitbox and balance changes. They, oh man, at the time, Gibraltar, Pathfinder, and Caustic, they were not very good with the hitboxes. It was really
Yeah, their
weird. They were just
hitboxes were
whack.
really freaky.
They were just whack, but they'd been adjusted to better align with their shapes, and so it just made it better for the community. And they also implemented some great buffs for Caustic, and Caustic. I'm not a big fan of Caustic, but I know a lot of people that like to play Caustic, and
Yeah.
they enjoy him. I don't know how you enjoy him, but they enjoy him. But he's not the greatest legend, I would say. He's still good, but I think at some standpoints there's just so many other great options out there, and I think that's one of the great things that they did. You don't have to buy a legend. It's free.
Oh yeah,
You know,
you can
it's
just play the game, and you
yeah,
can get
it
enough
goes with
stuff to get the legends.
any legend can go with your play style. Whether you're aggressive or you're kind of a defensive player, there's a legend for you, and you don't have to buy one. And I think that's what a lot of people really liked about it. Um, and they had a new report system, and they made crashes fewer. It was pretty nice. Their servers are
Oh
still
yeah.
it feels like they're run by one computer sometimes. But I get it. It's a pretty large game, it's understandable. Every game has their hiccups in servers, but they've had their fair share of quite the server mishaps. But they did bring in a new report system, and that was nice because, if there was a hacker or a cheater or something, you could really get rid of them like that. The one thing that I will say that kind of sucked was people just take advantage of this. You know,
Yeah,
if
people,
they're if they're toxic, and they get taken down by someone that has good aim, they might not even take into the fact that, oh man, this guy actually might be good and I'm just bad. They kind of just go straight off and,
kind of like
freaking.
Ninja when he thought that guy was stream sniping him.
Yes, Ninja is special sometimes. I respect him, but he's kind of, yeah, he's interesting. Um,
Oh yeah.
but I think that was one of the greater things about it. Especially just Kings Canyon. What a beautiful map. And I'm going to tell you the POIs real quick, or whatever, the locations, doesn't matter. There were Slum Lakes, Artillery, Relay, Runoff, The Pit, Cascades, Wetlands, Airbase Bunker, Bridges, Hydro Dam Swamps, Skulltown Market, Repulsor, Thunderdome, and Water Treatment. I'm sorry, that was quite a bit to say. But the
Oh
map will be there
yes.
for you to look at, so you don't have to listen to me say it. You can just pause the video and you don't really have to listen to me say it. It's totally fine. Um, I won't be hurt by it. But I really love Kings Canyon. We've been playing it recently, and it's just a breath of fresh air. I have to say, World's Edge is just
Yeah, World's
not.
Edge is
Mm,
it's kind of like Fortnite Chapter Two's map.
yeah,
It
the
just
flow of
doesn't
it
really
is just not
flow
right.
that good.
Yeah, especially when you have that muscle memory of going to that specific location that you really liked, and then they take that map away from you, and then you gotta go to another map that just doesn't really feel like that game. It really bothers me because playing Kings Canyon, it brought back so many good memories, and now you're playing, World's Edge, and World's Edge it just doesn't feel right to me. That's just me. But I just don't feel good when I'm playing that. I don't know. It's weird to
Yeah,
me,
World's
but
Edge is just a little weird.
yeah, I did like how they did do the hot zones because they had higher tier loot in random portions of the map. It didn't really matter. It was randomized. It wasn't like, "Oh man, Hydro Dam has the best loot. You better go there every game." Nah, it's randomized, so that was a good thing that I really liked. Um, especially with the way that they have done their movement. The reason why Kings Canyon felt so fluid didn't matter. A lot of people were like, "Oh man, we need vehicles. That would be so fun." Yes, they would be fun, but you had jump towers. They're all around the map, and they're really useful. Especially, they get you really high in the sky. I know, I am so fly. I'm writing poem. No, never mind. But you know what I mean. It's nice. And then they had the respawn beacons. Now we talked about this. We talked about this in other videos, previous videos. Talked about it in Fortnite. We talked about it in Warzone, and I think that Apex probably does one of the best things about this that you can revive your teammates. You know, if someone
Oh
gets
yeah, they
down, you can go
definitely do.
grab their respawn card and take it to a respawn beacon, and it does the job for you. It's nice. And that's the great thing about it. It's just they just did really well on that, and I think that's a pretty good way to wrap it up for about season one. But we have not going on. We have not going. We've not gone over the legends yet. We're gonna let you see the legends. You might want to pause the video if you want to see like their abilities, but they will be there. It'll be about like 2 seconds for each
Yeah,
one.
two
So you
seconds per
might want to
legend.
pause. But we will get to season two right after that's done. Well, that was a nice break, but it's time to get into season two. And well, while season one did introduce a new legend named Octane, season two introduced Watson, a very interesting character, a legend. She's
With a
very
very
defensive.
electric personality.
Nice pun there. I see what you did there. She
Oh yeah.
basically deals with electricity. I mean, it's in the name, Watts. And her passive ability is Spark of Genius. It's an ultimate accelerant that fully charges Watson's ultimate. Standing near the interception pylon boosts Watson's tactical recharge rate. Her tactical ability is the perimeter security. She creates electrified fences by connecting nodes. Fences damage and slow down enemies, and it also warns Watson
Oh,
if there's an enemy coming in contact with that fence. And then her ultimate is the interception pylon. If you place an electrified pylon, it destroys incoming ordnance and repairs damaged shields. And you can place up to 3 pylons at one time. This is a very good character to have. I actually main Watson. She's just nice to have, especially if you're in a building and you really don't want people to come and try to rush on you. You can really get the drop on them, especially because you
yeah.
slow them down and you can actually damage them. Especially with her,
And if you just got out of a gunfight, you could just
yeah,
place that thing
that
down.
pylon, and it gives your shields a recharge. And having a lifeline as well, that is a great duo. Because Lifeline
Oh
heals your
yeah,
health, and then
definitely.
Watson heals your shields. But Season 2, well, I have to say, it was a good season. It didn't really have too much going on. There wasn't really a huge map change. There was one thing. It brought down the repulsor tower, um, and the repulsor tower allowed beasts to once again take their natural place in Kings Canyon, and in doing so brought them a level of destruction that has left certain areas of the map unrecognizable. It kind of sucked, but at the same time, you know, I feel like it kind of did need a bit of a change even after one season. That's just how
Yeah,
well the
that's
developers
fair.
kind of felt about it, and they did a really good job at doing that. They didn't, you know, make a whole new map out of it. Just after one season, they let people kind of endure what it would be like, and I like how they did that. Um, and crews set up base camps and worked around the clock to repair the map, also taking this time to add new features to the arena. While the lack of legends have allowed certain areas of Kings Canyon to stabilize and grow. So it is pretty nice. I do like how they kind of introduce one legend after each season or before a season.
Yeah, one legend before each season. I think
Because
that's pretty good.
Because then you get you just get really, you know, it just becomes a lot. It kind of becomes overwhelming. I think one of the games that does, I mean, it's a good game, but at the same time, they have way too many operators, is Rainbow Six Siege. They add 2 new operators every, whatever, season, I think, and basically it just keeps coming. I mean, it's just a lot of operators. I think they've got over 50 right now. I haven't played in a while.
Yeah, I think that's a
but
little bit too many.
yeah, exactly. And so it's just I like how they're doing that, but they did make quite a lot of weapon changes. They added quite a bit of new things. I'm not going to say them all because it's quite a bit.
And that would make the video much longer than it needed to be.
Yes, but they did do quite a bit of bug fixes for the weapons, especially because I think that a lot of the weapons at the time were kind of just they were and they wanted to bring some new things in. I mean, they upped the Kraber damage insanely, but they also they brought in the rarity as well. They brought up the rarity because it wasn't there that often.
Yeah.
But when you have that in a game, it's so fun to play with. And it was fun to do. They brought in energy mags. They brought in a new hop up, which is the hammer point rounds for the P2020 and the Mozambique. And then disruptor rounds
Two of the worst weapons in the game.
yeah, and then they brought disruptor rounds for the alternator and RE45, as well as a new airdrop weapon, the L-Star EMG. Absolutely crazy weapon. It's just insane.
The L-Star is amazing.
Yeah, almost
If you
every
use it
weapon
right.
they upped the damage. It was crazy. Which is, they just kind of thought it was and so they kind of wanted to do that a bit better. And there's not a lot of changes for a lot of the legends, and I think the reason was because I think what they do really well is they make most of the legends somewhat balanced when it comes out. I know, like Rainbow Six Siege, they come out with an operator, there's an operator named Clash. They've had to take her out of the game more than 3 times just to fix a glitch that she's had. And it's almost coming to the point where it's like, just take the operator out of the game. With the legends, they don't really have to worry about that. There's slight fixes that they can change, but I think that they do a really good job at that. Another thing is the battle pass. I mean,
Oh yes.
it was a lot more glamorous than the first one, which I feel like they did really well. There were new skins for people. There were just new levels to unlock, and all of the skins for the weapons and the legends just went really well. I'm sorry if you just heard my dogs. They're kind of dumb. They bark at anything. But I think you can kind of get from that. Like, they were doing really well. I think Season 1 was a great starting point, and Season 2 just kind of showed that, because they didn't really have to do that many patches or patch notes.
Season 2
to
made
really
Season
change
2
it.
made some changes. They didn't make too many major ones, but definitely some great changes they made nonetheless.
Yeah, and then they introduced the ranked leagues, which brought about a lot of more competitive styles, because I do remember people would go into a match and they'd be placed with these really competitive players. Well, the ranked gives a chance for all these other competitive players to play against one another. It's not, you can go into a public, but you're just not going to have fun if you're a competitive player. Because competitive players, if they play like easy people, how is that fun? That doesn't make sense to me if they think that's fun, but to me, I think the rank system was a great thing to have, and I think that Season 2 was a great season. That's all I gotta say, really. Anything you want to say?
I think I'm out of stuff to say as well.
Alright, well, I think that about wraps up the video. Thank you guys for watching. I'm gonna be completely honest. This video has taken a long time to edit. I'm not even joking. So, guys, please make sure to like and subscribe if you haven't already. And if you want to share it, please. But thank you guys for watching, and we will see you guys in the next video.